All right, welcome to the 30th edition of the Sports Mashup podcast. September 22nd is today's date as we cover the latest things to do and talk about in the world of sports. The NBA is where we start, and it's always a quick, brief thing. We'll start with the Ben Simmons thing. I mean, let's just be honest. Ben Simmons is not good, especially with that contract. And the fact that he's not going to report to Sixers camp because he wants to be traded, I mean, who wants to trade for him? I'd trade for the player if his contract didn't suck. I mean, I don't,
No, I mean, like last year, I had that bet for him all year to make 4 or over 3.5 threes. Or was it 3.5 or 4.5? One of the two. He got to, say it was 4.5. He made 4 on the year.
I mean, he's not a max player. I think if he was on like a contract that was reasonable, which in the NBA is like $12 million or less probably per year, I think that someone would take him. But like the contract's ridiculous for a guy that can't shoot in this NBA, and he's not like a center or a power forward. No, where's the value there?
Even if he gets to the rim and gets fouled, he's still not the greatest free throw shooter either.
And the way for him to be successful is to have a lot of playmakers around him. And Philadelphia has playmakers, but I don't think it's the style that he he would fit stylistically with the Knicks, but they don't have the playmakers that he needs around him. But like in terms of making plays and being a playmaker that can't shoot or score for the most part, Simmons can do that. But the contract's just absurd. And I don't know how this is going to end. I mean, is it going to be a Deshaun Watson type thing without the allegations where he doesn't play and just sits there? I mean, I don't know.
Watch him get like someone trade for him that's like just awful, like Sacramento.
Yeah, I mean, that might end up what happens because you need a team that has the cap space to take that contract on, and
I'm sure they'll have to give players out for the trade.
Yeah, like an overpaid player who doesn't do anything going the other way to Philly. I mean, does Philly even – I don't know. The whole thing's weird. I mean, I would have traded him by now really for anything at this point because he doesn't want to be there.
I think
they're worse with him.
I think Philly would take, like, Bagley.
Yeah, but the thing is I think that Philly for some reason thinks he actually has value, which is ridiculous because he doesn't.
No, but I think Bagley would fit in that as a backup 4
he
or 5.
Would, but I think they would want more than that, which is ridiculous.
I'm sure it'd be 2 players coming out of – say it was Sacramento, it'd be 2 players coming out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know how this ends. It's really the only interesting story.
Point guard is in Sacramento, but I'm sure he would probably be
De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is really good.
So I'm sure it could be both of them.
Yeah, if I'm Sacramento, and I don't even know if they're talking about it or thinking about it, they're the typical team that could because they're not good and they probably have money. But I'm not taking away minutes from De'Aaron Fox in any situation.
I'm saying that it'd be Fox and Bagley leaving in the trade.
That's
for
a lot.
Simmons.
I don't give up Fox for Simmons. Maybe Buddy Hield.
Standpoint, but I'm saying that would be a good trade for the Sixers.
It would, yeah. And if the Sixers, if they could get a guy like him, that would be, perfect. But Buddy Hield would be a guy that makes some sense to go back.
Fox would just speed up that offense and
he would do a lot to help guys like Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid.
And then Bagley being the backup 4 or 5, probably 4 for Harris.
Yeah, I wonder if Sacramento would want another pick back though with Simmons because I think De'Aaron Fox has more value at this point than Ben Simmons does, and I don't think it's close. So.
It'd be or it could be like a 3-team deal. But
yeah, we've seen a lot of those in the NBA over the years. So, all right, former Sixer JJ Redick.
JJ Redick retires at the age of 37 after 15 seasons. Made the playoffs in his first 13 seasons when they signed. Zion, he told Zion he better get him to the playoffs because he's never missed it.
That didn't happen.
No. But he averaged 12.8 points in 940 regular season games. He had 1,950 career makes from 3. Ranks him 15th in NBA history. His Duke records, he had 2,769 points, 457 threes made, and he shot 91.2% from the free throw line, averaged 26.8 points a game. All those are Duke records.
Yeah, he was a hell of a shooter, definitely. One of the better shooters in the league for a long time. And, hanging him up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how close that is. I mean, I guess only 1950 from three. He was only 15th, so I don't know what Ray Allen's mark is or where Curry's at.
Yeah.
I thought he was been higher up than 15.
Well,
some of the teams he played at, though, after like the first 6 or 8 years, he was more of a backup role.
So right now, Ray Allen is the leader at 2,973. Steph Curry is going to beat that eventually.
So that's 1,000 ahead of Redick.
Yeah. I'll give you the 14 players ahead of JJ Redick. Ray Allen, Steph Curry, Reggie Miller, Kyle Korver, James Harden,
How
Vince
many Korver
Carter.
have?
Korver, 2,450.
And Vince Carter is up there?
2,290. Played a long time.
I guess
Jason Terry,
300.
Jamal Crawford, Paul Pierce, Damian Lillard, Jason Kidd, Dirk, LeBron, and Joe Johnson are ahead of him. And Redick had
who was behind Dirk?
LeBron.
How many does he have?
1,979.
29 in front. And how many is Dirk? Does Dirk have 2,000?
1,982. The players with 2,000 are the top 10. So Lillard, Pierce, Crawford, Terry, Carter, Harden, Korver, Miller, Curry, Allen. And J.R. Smith, 20 behind J.J. Redick. So, and he's pretty much done. So, yeah. Kyle Lowry needs 124 more to beat him. Klay Thompson needs a little bit more than that. You got Paul George there. So, yeah.
I just thought he would have been higher, but
I actually agree. Yeah. It's kind of surprising that he's 15. But good luck to him. I think he has a podcast. I don't know if it's as good as ours, but good luck to him. Let's go to the NFL, week 2. The noon slate games have been pretty bad to start the year, but I don't really want to complain because it is football. But the afternoon games last week were really good. Thursday night game set the tone with the Giants.
Both back-to-back weeks, Thursday night games have been it, but I don't know about this Thursday.
And now we have Davis Mills and Sam Darnold, so that'll be great. The Giants should have won this game. I mean, you cannot lose a game where Daniel Jones plays as well as he did. It's pretty simple. I mean, that was bad. I guess Dexter Lawrence was offside there. I know there's videos saying that he wasn't, but he definitely was.
Who was it that also missed the deep ball? Was it Sterling Shepard or Slayton?
I think it was Darius Slayton. And that was like an in-between, like should have had it, but slightly overthrown, I think that play was. But it should have been a touchdown. You got to make that play. But the Giants are 0-2, and their schedule only gets harder from here, so they're in trouble. The NFC East, a puzzling division because I think Philadelphia's looked better than people thought they would. I think the Cowboys have looked good. I think Washington has been what they are, which is pretty average.
I think Washington's looked good. It's just they're off
their defensive front has not been as good as it could be, which it may be a good sign for them.
No, and their quarterback, I just don't know if he can make all the plays that's needed.
Yeah, I don't know. He has a lot of playmakers, though. That helps.
Yeah, but it's if he can get them the ball.
Yeah, he played pretty well Thursday. I mean, he did have that horrible pick that led to a field goal for the Giants to leave more time on the clock for the
And how long is it until they get Fitzpatrick back?
It's going to be a while. I wonder if he even starts another game for them at this point. I think if Heineke keeps playing the way that he did Thursday, they're going to keep him in there. They're not a team that needs a great quarterback to win if their defense is as good as it should be, which it hasn't been yet.
No, and they also had Gibson last year did a lot of catching the ball out of the backfield, which I think more was an Alex Smith thing where he liked doing it. But you need to get him the ball in space.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, J.D. McKissick had a couple receptions, I think, in that game too, and a couple targets. So they're trying to incorporate that with the running backs, and I think most teams should. Bengals, Bears. 17-3, the Bears were leading after Joe Burrow just had a bad game. Threw a pick six, another pick after that. And the Bears almost blew it. Andy Dalton went down. Justin Fields came in. Fields was really bad. I mean, I don't know. He's very hyped, so you got to be a little bit critical when he looks that bad. I mean,
and us being from Illinois, I don't know about yours, my Facebook has been like, oh, he's finally, Justin Fields is in. Boo. I don't think he's ready.
Andy Dalton was way better in that game on Sunday than Fields was. Now, Fields is going to start this week, so he's starting against the Browns. That's going to be a big test. You know, I think they can win the game this week, but I don't know. Like, Fields, you got to think about it this way. Week 1, when he played in a little bit of a limited role, like in the red zone, he looked good. Week 2, when he goes out there and does multiple drives, not as good. And that's troubling, especially since the Rams defense is much better than the Bengals defense.
I'd say going from the Bengals front four to Cleveland's front four, I mean, you got Clowney and Myles Garrett coming at you.
And they have a good secondary.
Yeah.
However, they didn't look great against Houston last week, Cleveland's defense, but still, I mean, the Bears' offensive line is pretty much going to be the key this week, I think, for them to be successful, because I think the Browns' offense can score on them, even though the receivers are a questionable spot for the Browns right now with Landry going on IR and OBJ hopefully being back. But it'll be interesting to see how Fields plays. I mean, I've never seen more hype from a mid-round quarterback. I mean, it's a little much. I mean, of course, I'm a Packer fan, so people are going to say all this stuff, but, like, you know, calm down a little bit.
Yeah, but I still don't think he's ready to be the starter.
We'll see. We will see. And then Matt Nagy did say Andy Dalton is the starter when he's healthy, so we'll see if he ever does get the job back. Rams get to 2-0 as they defeat the Colts 27-24. Carson Wentz, 2 sprained ankles, not 1, 2 sprained ankles. So
you missed the Browns beat Texans 31-21 as Tyrod goes down. Davis Mills will start this Thursday or tomorrow for the Texans against Carolina.
Yeah, a lot of quarterback injuries on Sunday, so something to keep an eye on. But, you know, the Browns didn't look as good as they probably should have. Baker went out of the game for a minute there, then came back. The Texans' offense, I think, can be not horrible. They got guys there. I mean, Brandon Cooks had a good game. Phillip Lindsay's there, so we'll see for their offense. But the Rams-Colts game, boring game. Jacob Eason comes in after Wentz goes down, throws a pick. The Rams, I think they're good. I don't know how good. I think obviously the overreactions we see every week, everyone thought they were the best team on the planet after they destroyed the Bears. I mean, you know, we'll see. I think Stafford is settling in. I think he'll have a good year there. But, yeah, the Bills destroyed the Titans. The Dolphins. Why did I say Titans? Yikes. Bills destroy the Dolphins 35-0. Tua gets hurt, leaves the game. Not looking good for him. Doesn't stay healthy. Dolphins fans wanted Tua over Herbert. That's just a brutal look at this point. Everyone knows Herbert's better. Ridiculous. And the Bills bounce back. So there you go. Zach Wilson, good game for him. 4 interceptions, including a couple of really, really bad ones as the Patriots beat the Jets 25-6. Typical Bill Belichick killing the Jets.
My fantasy team needed this because I picked up their Patriots defense during week 1 because I have them and the Niners, and I like this matchup better.
I drafted the Patriots defense, so I had a big week with 19 points for that. So, you know, this is what Belichick does to rookie quarterbacks. So this is a no-brainer to have their defense in there and how well they played. Not surprising. So 49ers 2-0 on the year. Ugly win over the Eagles. Not much to say in this game. I think it was 17-11, so boring game.
Yeah, the Eagles' offense looked bad. I mean, they didn't run. They only rushed for like 70 yards.
Yeah, they had a touchdown call back. Quez Watkins or whatever his name is had 2 receptions for 117 yards. So that was good for him. You know, yeah, I still think the Eagles will be 7-10, middle of the road team.
This next game surprised me.
Yeah, the Panthers offense continues to look really good. They blow out the Saints. New Orleans didn't score until the 4th quarter, so they follow up destroying the Packers with not being able to score. So what are the Panthers? I mean, their defense looks pretty good. They drafted a lot of defensive players in the last 2 years. A lot.
I thought this was either going to be a close game or almost a repeat for the Saints from week 1?
I mean, I guess we learned, you can't always trust Sean Payton and Jameis Winston. I mean, probably going to be an inconsistent team. I still don't think they'll be a playoff team, but Carolina has been very surprising with how good they've looked. I know they played the Jets in week 1, but this is a divisional game. I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
And then, surprising, the Broncos are 2-0. I mean,
Broncos' schedule is a joke.
Yes, they played the Jags, and
Giants, Jaguars, Jets is how the Broncos start the season. I mean, if you don't start 3-0 there, then you're really bad.
Hey, but Teddy Bridgewater, you were against it, and I said from the get-go he was going to be the starter. He's looking good.
Yeah, we'll see when he plays like the Chargers and the Raiders and the Chiefs.
But still, he's looking good.
Yeah, he's looking good for someone who
Von Miller's looking good, but I think they just lost Chubb again.
They did lose Bradley Chubb, so that's troublesome on the defensive end.
He was out all last season, right? They were without him and Von.
I don't remember. I guess. I don't remember, though.
I'm pretty sure, or at least he was out for a portion.
Yeah, which, they always have injuries there. But the Vikings choke. Greg Joseph, I think, is the kicker's name. I really don't care if I got his name wrong. Missed a 34-yarder as the Cardinals beat the Vikings 34-33 in an insane game.
And in recent years, this has been a thing for the Vikings.
Kirk Cousins has looked very good for a team that's 0-2.
I'm saying like their kicker has been a struggle for them. Blair
Walsh, Seattle, that game. Yeah, pretty bad. Not good. And they're 0-2, and we'll see. The Bucs destroy the Falcons 48-25. Matt Ryan throws 2 pick sixes in the fourth quarter to the same dude. And then Tom Brady, 5 touchdowns. He's now got 9. So,
the one was tipped, and he got
it. The one that was tipped was insane. I mean, that was like a walk-in. But, yeah, I mean, the Bucs doing what they're supposed to do, scoring a lot of points against a bad Falcons. Dude, the Falcons are really bad. Really bad.
But now the Bucs have to play the Rams.
That'll be a good game. We'll see. That's in LA, SoFi, so that'll be good. I think the Chargers got screwed by the refs. A couple of really questionable calls, but the Cowboys beat the Chargers on a long field goal by Greg Zuerlein after horrendous clock management by Mike McCarthy. The Cowboys win, and they went in there 1-1. They played well enough to be 1-1, no doubt. Titans bounce back, crazy overtime victory in Seattle, 182 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns for Derrick Henry.
And a lot of this was in the second half.
Yep. They were giving him the ball. Julio had a touchdown called
back. Seattle blew this.
Yeah, they shouldn't have lost this game, but huge win for the Titans. They've looked really bad, and they're 1-1, so you got to take it. Lamar Jackson runs all over the place. Ravens beat the Chiefs 36-35 in a Sunday night thriller. And
the Chiefs still will not run the ball.
Well, they ran the ball in the fourth quarter, fumble, pretty much lost in the game. So.
But I'm saying throughout the game, they are underutilizing Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, I'm cool with them just giving the ball to Travis Kelce for my fantasy.
I may be saying this because I have Clyde, but even last year, they didn't use him that much.
I mean, that's what Andy Reid's going to use his quarterback as much as he can. Best quarterback in the league. I mean, you have to. But it would help if you
dump him the ball.
It's like Aaron Rodgers early in his career.
He ran a screen pass for him, and Mahomes already looked at him and was like, no, you're open, but I'm not giving you the ball. I'm going to take a deep shot and throw an incomplete pass.
Flair for the dramatic. You got to like it. The Packers dominated the second half. 35-17, beat the Lions. The Lions didn't score any points in the second half. 4 touchdowns for the Aarons, 3 receiving for Aaron Jones, and a rushing. Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns. Did what they had to do.
He did. I was down, I don't know how many after Saturday or Sunday's day games or whatever. And then I had who was the Sunday night game?
Chiefs Ravens.
I had Butker and Allaire. And then Monday night I had Tunyon and Rodgers.
I had Jones and Rodgers, and I was down 15 going into Monday Night Football, and I won by like 50-something. So
I ended up winning by 2 points.
I'm 2-0 in fantasy football. It's been a good start.
I'm 1-1, and I lost by 0.6, and I won by 2.
Yeah, I didn't score very much week 1, but I won. And then week 2, I got a lot of points, obviously, from Jones and Rogers. So there you go. NFL week 2 awards. NFC Offensive Player of the Week, Kyler Murray. Defensive Player of the Week, Mike Edwards, the Bucs safety who got 2 pick sixes. And then Special Teams Player of the Week, Mitch Wishnowsky, the punter for the Niners. And then you had in the AFC, obviously Derrick Henry was the Player of the Week on offense. Jason Owe from the Ravens, former Penn State linebacker, I believe, Defensive Player of the Week. And then Daniel Carlson, kicker for the Raiders, was the Special Teams Player of the Week. As I mentioned earlier, Justin Fields will start week 3 for the Bears against the Browns.
And also, Tua is out versus the Raiders with fractured ribs. Jacoby Brissett will start. Big Ben, possible torn pec. Hopes to be playing Sunday. Lamar sore from his touchdown flip, but he was quoted to say he would do it again. Texans to start rookie quarterback Mills as Tyrod is hurt. What is really going on with Deshaun Watson? As they said, he will not play or be on the roster Thursday.
Yeah, he's going to end up playing somewhere else next year, and he's not going to play at all this year, would be my guess.
I believe they said they were going to call up Jeff Driscoll from the practice squad to be Mills's backup.
They really want the number 1 pick, so good luck to them.
10 first-year ballot Hall of Fame nominees. Defense, you had DeMarcus Ware and Robert Mathis. Defensive tackle Vince Wilfork. Cornerback Antonio Cromartie. Offense, wide receivers Andre Johnson, Steve Smith, and Anquan Bolden. Offensive line, Jake Long and Nick Mangold, longtime Jet. Kick returner Devin Hester. 122 finalists. List will be reduced to 25 semifinalists and then down to 15. Finalists from 2021 to be renominated for next year. Are some shockers here that some of these guys didn't get in over the others. Defensive end Jared Allen, defensive tackle Richard Seymour, I believe longtime Patriot. Linebacker Sam Mills, Zach Thomas, defensive back Rondé Barber, and Leroy Butler.
Leroy Butler should be in the Hall of Fame. The fact that he's not is an absolute joke, so he better get in this year.
These first 2 right here are my shockers that they didn't get over some of the other receivers. Offensive wide receivers Reggie Wayne and Torrey Holt. Offensive tackle Tony Baselli. Like Reggie Wayne and Torrey Holt, they're not above Anquan Bolden.
Well, I think, and Drew Pearson got in last year. In all fairness, Drew Pearson not better than Reggie Wayne. So,
But I'm saying out of this class, you're telling me Reggie Wayne or Torrey Holt are not better than Anquan Bolden?
They are, yeah. So we'll see. Leroy Butler better get in, or I'm going to just have to rant again for like the 4th year in a row. I mean, I'm sorry. No disrespect to your guy, John Lynch. He was not a better player than Leroy Butler. I'm sorry. It's just the way it has to be.
Packer?
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the numbers. I mean, John Lynch was good.
And these guys Rondé Barber is just a finalist.
Yeah, he's not. I don't know if he'll get in, but Leroy Butler's got to be in. I mean, it's ridiculous.
He's not getting in this year because these guys are both being renominated for next year.
Leroy Butler's going to get in at some point, and I hope it's not too much longer. That's pretty much how I look at it. So we'll see. Let's go to college hoops.
I also think that Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne are better than Devin Hester, who's a first-year nominee.
Hester's going to get in, 100%.
But on to NCAA basketball. Derek Lively, number 2 player in the class of 2022, chooses Duke over Kentucky, Michigan, and Penn State, where his mother played and was a 1,000-point scorer.
I was going to say no other reason to put Penn State on there for basketball.
This gives Duke the edge with the number 1 class in 2022 for John Shire. Lively's a 7'1" stretch center. More plays in the paint, but can shoot the 3.
That's how a lot of these players are these days. So I mean that fits the idea of what you want, I would say, especially an NBA prospect.
Austin P to leave the Ohio Valley Conference for the Atlantic Sun Conference effective July 1st. This will be for all their sports, all 17. The Pac-12 and the SWAC form a NCAA men and NCAA women's basketball scheduling partnership to start in 2022.
So the Pac-12 is just going to destroy the SWAC for multiple years on both sides. That'll be exciting for them. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for college basketball. Still a while to go, a couple months. But I'm excited to unveil my rankings for this season because I got some bold things to say about some of these teams. Like, I'll just give you a little sneak peek here. Purdue is the best team in the Big Ten. More on that in about a month. Anyway, golf. That's where we go. And shout out Max Homa, friend of the show pretty much, if you think about it. He's liked a few of my tweets, friend of the show.
Yeah, he wins the Fortinet Championship, wins $1.2 million, shot 19 under.
I mean, he was, I think, tied for the lead with like 4 or 5 to play. I think Maverick McNeely is who he was tied with. He ended up double bogeying, I think, 15. And then Homa had a birdie, save par on the last. Second win within the last year because he won the Genesis last season. Then he gets the first win of this season. So shout out to Max Homa. When it's in California, he's got a chance. He's from California. He won the Genesis, obviously, in California. This was in California. Get a tournament in California, Max Homa is going to dominate.
And then this weekend you have the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where it's like, man.
And Whistling Straits on the Straits course in Kohler, Wisconsin.
One thing I hate about this course in terms of the U.S., it being on U.S. soil is why did they pick a course that looks like it'll suit European players far more than U.S. players? Like, it looks like a Lynx European Scottish type course. And that's going to be tough. You look at the talent, you look at the overall rosters, the U.S. team is much better.
Who won last year's Ryder Cup?
Well, it's every 2 years, so I think 2019 would have been, or 2018 would have been the last one. Europe, I believe, won that. I think the U.S. has won one of them. The U.S. is not – they've struggled in the Ryder Cups. They won 20 – I think Spieth's second year that he did it, they won. The U.S. did. So, I mean, it's gonna be an interesting one because the U.S. team is better, but they always find a way to just mess it up. Every time. And let me see here. 2018, Europe won. That was in France. In Minnesota in 2016, the U.S. won. Europe won 10, 12, 14. Yeah, Europe has won 7 of the last 9. So we'll see. We will see. We'll cover that next week. And some developing things going on in Major League Baseball. The Cardinals. If you could watch the video and see my background, you can tell that I am a fan of them. 10 straight wins. I don't know if they'll ever lose again. 4 games clear in the second wildcard spot. Many times in this program, I pronounced them dead, and now they're back. John Lester got his 200th win on Monday. Who would have ever thought he'd do that with the Cardinals? And Nolan Arenado becomes the first Cardinal since Matt Holliday in 2012 to reach 100 RBIs. So they're back. They may never lose another game again. Shout out, 10 in a row, biggest streak since 01. I'm very surprised that the team. I always thought the team was good enough to do something, but this is a bigger run than I expected. It would take a massive choke to not make the playoffs.
Yeah, and the Brewers clinch a playoff berth. The White Sox aren't far behind on clinching either. I think whoever's behind them. Cleveland's like 13.5 back.
Yeah, that thing's over for sure.
The Dodgers placed Bellinger on IL due to rib fracture.
He was having a terrible season. This is just brutal.
The Yankees Severino pitches for the first time since 2019.
Yeah, lots changed since then.
He had Tommy John last year. And the MLB's top current teams. The Giants are at 98 and 53. Dodgers are 1 game back at 97 and 54.
That's going to be an interesting division finish.
And the Rays are at 93 and 59.
I think best case scenario, if you're a team looking to get the second wild card spot, is the Dodgers and Giants have to play a tiebreaker. That's what you want. So we'll see. All right. NHL stuff, real quick. It's over. The saga, we've talked about it multiple times. Kaprizov returns to Minnesota, 5 years, $45 million, $9 million per year. Big deal for him. They needed to get it done. The league couldn't lose him, so good stuff there. Other extensions around the league. Rasmus Dahlin, defenseman, former number 1 overall pick, 3 years, $6 million per with the Sabres. Cal Peterson, goaltender, 3 years, $5 million per with the Kings. Elvis Merzlikins, 5 years, $5.4 million per with the Blue Jackets. That starts next season is when that contract kicks in. Robert Thomas, 2 years, $2.8 million per with the Blues. Nolan Patrick, 2 years, $1.2 million with Vegas. He was traded in a 3-team deal from Philadelphia to Vegas. Canucks stars Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes will miss the start of training camp as they remain unsigned. Canucks GM Jim Benning did say they feel like they're close on a deal or not far apart. So we'll see. They got to get that done or they're in big trouble. Preseason begins in 3 days. So we'll have an NHL preview of some sort in the next couple of weeks. College football is where we go next. A lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, Northwestern gets a $480 million gift from the Ryan family to update football stadium. Their names are already on the football field and basketball arena. The field was built in 1926, last renovated in 1997. So this is going to add to their field.
It will. Maybe they'll have a good team within the next decade in football. They were good last year. They're not good now.
They started off, then they won their first game pretty good, handily, and then on what they did last week.
I just know they're not very good this year.
Utah's quarterback Brewer leaves the program after 3 starts. Cam Rising, a Texas transfer, brought the team back Saturday against San Diego State to end up losing 33-31 in triple overtime.
Yeah, Brewer was, I believe, the quarterback at Baylor. Then went to Utah. This is a weird one. I don't know what to make of it, but good luck to him. I mean, very weird that he just left.
Yeah, after 3 starts. But the new top 25, Bama stays at 1, Georgia stays at 2, Oregon goes up 1-3, Oklahoma drops 2 to number 4, Iowa stays at 5, Penn State goes up 4 to number 6, Texas A&M stays at 7, Cincinnati stays at 8, Clemson drops 3 spots to number 9, Ohio State drops 1 to 10, Florida stays at 11. Notre Dame stays at 12. Ole Miss goes up 4 to number 13. Iowa State stays at 14. BYU goes up 8 to number 15. Arkansas is up 4 to number 16. Coastal Carolina drops 1 to 17. Wisconsin stays at 18. Michigan goes up 6 to number 19. Michigan State goes into number 20. They were not ranked last week. North Carolina goes up 3 to 21. Fresno State goes 22 after being unranked. Auburn drops 1, 23. UCLA drops 11 to number 24. And Kansas State comes in at number 25 after being unranked.
Yeah, that's a lot of changes being made. I'm surprised Alabama didn't destroy Florida. They were up 21-3 early in that game and then almost lost it, but props to Florida on that one. But Alabama's going to be number 1 for the rest of the time, I think. That's kind of how that works. So on to the picks. 12-9 last week for me. A little bit of a bounce back week. I'll take it.
I went 10-10. What hurt me? NFL hurt me.
I had Homa winning, which got me to 12, or else it would have been 11-9. But the NFL, I went 1-7 week 1, 3-5 week 2. You got to take it a little bit better.
I had no golfers. Matsuyama was one of the guys I had to win. He tied for 6th. Zalatoris, I had a top 5. He finished tied for 11th. And then Rahm, Kevin Na, and Cameron Champ both didn't make the cut. Or all 3 didn't make the cut.
Pretty much how mine went. 3 guys didn't make the cut. Zalatoris tied for 11th, and Homa, I had to finish top 5. He won. There you go. I went 5-3 in college football, 3-5 in the NFL, 3-1 in Major League Baseball. And
3-1 in baseball, 4-4 in college football, and 3-5 in the NFL. The only one that really sucked for me was I had the Rams minus 3.5. They won by 3.
Yep, I had that as well, and brutal beat, but what can you do? Let's do the baseball stuff real quick, get it out of the way, and I'll run down my picks real quick here. I have the Dodgers, big favorites, minus 280 at the Rockies tomorrow. Rangers, plus 115 at the Orioles. Blue Jays, minus 135 at the Twins, and I'm going to go with a shot in the dark D-backs, plus 150 home against the Braves.
I got the Cardinals plus 100 over Milwaukee. Wainwright's pitching. Braves minus 180 over Arizona. Philly minus 240 over Pittsburgh. And Toronto minus 145 over the Twins.
All right, then we'll do the Ryder Cup picks. I'm taking the U.S. Screw it. I think the team's too good to lose. And I might look stupid for saying that, but the U.S. minus 190, they're heavy favorites to win. And then to win more points, I will take John Rahm minus 110 over Justin Thomas. And then 3 guys for the top points scorer. I'll take Spieth plus 900, Cantlay plus 1,000, and Hovland plus 1,200.
I as well took U.S. plus or minus 190. My most points won is by Morikawa, minus 110. And top point scorer, I had to take, if he's getting the most points won, I had to get him the top point scorer, Morikawa at plus 1,400, Rahm at plus 800, and Cantlay at plus 1,000.
All right, college football week 5 conference picks. Michigan State minus 5 against Nebraska for the Big Ten. Baylor plus 7. So maybe give Iowa State get some fear in them. Big 12 game. Pac-12 game, Arizona State minus 14 against a horrible Colorado offense. Their offense sucks. You look at their game against Minnesota last week, absolutely embarrassing. North Carolina starting to get it back in the ACC, minus 13 at Georgia Tech, and Kentucky minus 5 at South Carolina in the SEC.
I also have Michigan State minus 5 over Nebraska. Big 12, I have Kansas State plus 6 over Oklahoma State. Pac-12, UCLA minus 4.5 over Stanford. North Carolina minus 12.5 over Georgia Tech. And then the SEC, I have Tennessee plus 18.5 over Florida.
All right, primetime college football games, the big ones. I'm taking Wisconsin minus 6.5 against Notre Dame because Notre Dame seems a little fraudulent to me. I'll take Texas A&M minus 5.5 against an Arkansas team that's been pretty good, but give me A&M. And then I'll take West Virginia to cover the big plus 17 after a big win last week for West Virginia to cover at Oklahoma.
I also am taking Wisconsin minus 6.5. I'm taking Arkansas plus 5.5. And then this was my, I don't know which one
it's
I
a
want.
Big number, and I know Oklahoma did not cover against Nebraska last week, so a little shaky.
Yeah, I'm taking West Virginia plus 17.
All right, week 3 in the NFL. I am 4-12 in the NFL to start the year, so see if I can improve upon that a little bit. Panthers-Texans, a barn burner Thursday night game. I am taking the Panthers minus the 8. What do you got on that one?
I also have the same thing.
All right, then my 5 games, I got the Bears plus 7 at the Browns. Giants minus 3. Something's got to give. The Giants got to win a game against the Falcons. Raiders minus 4 against the Dolphins. Patriots minus 2.5 against the Saints. And the Jets, why not? Bounce back spot for Zach Wilson. See if he can improve a little bit. Plus 10.5 at the Broncos. Broncos will still win, but I think the Jets can cover that.
Would you take in the Pats game?
Patriots minus 2.5.
I have Arizona minus 7 over Jacksonville. Tennessee minus 5 over Indy. Patriots minus 2.5 over New Orleans. Washington football team plus 7 over the Bills. And Cleveland minus 7 over the Bears.
Sunday night game, Niners minus 3 against the Packers. If the Packers can ever prove me they can beat a healthy Niners team in San Francisco, I'll believe it when I see it. So give me the Niners minus 3. And Monday night game, give me the Eagles plus 3.5 against the Cowboys because why not?
We're on opposite with these. I have the Packers plus 3 and the Cowboys -3.5.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what goes down, and there you go. That'll do it for us on Sports Mashup number 30. We'll see you next Wednesday to preview, or I guess review the Ryder Cup and preview the next golf event. Then we'll have NFL Week 3 recap, college football recap, all that stuff, and we'll see you next Wednesday for number 31.